Hey fellow Vault wearers, it's Angry Turtle, and today I will be talking about explosions and mainly about self-damage, fireproof and so on, because question about fireproof, is fireproof broken, appear in my comments I don't know, 20, 30 times, I lost the count, a lot of times, and I quite briefly went over it in my first video with patch 33 changes, but now we'll go more in depth. Is it broken and what's going on? As there have been some changes in the recent patch, as you most likely noticed, but one good news is Fireproof is actually not broken, but there are some very interesting mechanisms in play that can make you feel like it is broken. And let me start step by step explaining the situation, as this is way more complicated than it should be. Bethesda like to make things more complicated than it should be. It's just their trait. Therefore, for this explanation, I have the first step. How much damage I'm actually taking from my own explosions. I have two grenade launchers, one level 25 and one level 15. One of them states on the weapon card 90 damage, other one 100 damage, and I have no mutations. I wipe out all the mutations, I remove all the perk cards, and I'm wearing currently no armor at all. And I have no defense. You can see only some consumables still running, but that's energy and I'm using ballistic damage, and that's cool. Now, you would expect that using a weapon doing 100 damage would be really easy for all the calculations, and I would hope that would be the case, but look at my health. 355 and I shoot myself once. 245. You will be, oh, maybe it's not exactly accurate. You took 10 damage more than you're supposed to. But then I changed to a weaker weapon, going down 10 damage on the weapon card. I'm looking at the stats, my health 245, I shoot myself, 135, I took again 110 damage, and you are thinking, why is it always 110 damage? Oh, that's because at some point in the time, Bethesda decided, devs decided that PvP in Fallout 76 is amazing and all it needs is special rule set. And damaging yourself involves this special rule set for PvP. And the rule sets are, first, maximum damage you can take per shot in PvP is 110. That's how I'm taking 110. But you would say that still doesn't explain why are you taking more damage than weapon does. And that's the tricky part. You don't know how much damage weapon do for PvP. This weapon card is for PvE. There is a separate weapon card for PvP. That's hidden. You cannot access it. You cannot see the weapon stats for PvP. Those are different. You can somehow reverse engineer your PvP damage if you want to figure out, okay, it's 90 for PvE, how much is it for PvP? It's not easy because I'm taking 110 and that's a cap, then I know it's more, but how much is it? In order to almost accurately figure out the damage, I will be using this level 1 chest piece with dense modification. What dense modification is doing, again, hidden numbers that you cannot see, it's reducing the damage from explosions by 50%. By half, what makes calculation quite easy. I equip it, there is 4 ballistic resistance, but luckily in case of so much damage as this grenade launcher does, it absolutely doesn't change the results, then that's good. Now, again, 90 on weapon card, I'm healed, 355 health, I shoot myself once. 355 minus 276, it's 80 damage. That's half, that's actually 79, and that is half, therefore I know that approximately this gun is actually doing 158 damage. That's the damage for PvP, and you need to actually reverse engineer it to see how it works, but as well in this step you can see that dense torso works. It cuts damage by half. Now, does Fireproof actually work? What the weapon card says. Take 45% less damage from explosions, and flame attacks. That's almost half, not exactly. Therefore, I would expect to be taking a little bit over 40 damage after equipping this card. Maybe like 41, 42, something like that. Will it be true? Let me equip it. My health again, current health, 276. One shot into myself, 235. I took 41 damage. Exactly as it's supposed to be. Now, why so many people think Fireproof doesn't work or Dance doesn't work? That's because in the past, the self-damage formula was broken and all the explosive damage formula versus players was broken. As Fireproof was basically applying twice, then you've been getting like around 90% damage reduction from explosions, which usually was reducing damage from explosions to 0, as these numbers have been rounded when you hit high enough resistance. No more. Then now it's working exactly as stated on the weapon card. And everything else is working too. It's not like anything is broken. Let me show you now. Let's say I go under agility and I add dodgy. Again, starting from 235 health, shooting myself once, 219. I only received 16 damage. And you would be, oh, 16? You reduce it by like 60% now. Oh, that's the second part. When you reduce the damage from explosions enough, finally your ballistic resistance will come into play to the calculation. What results in actual damage will be reduced greatly, but you just need to hit high enough ballistic resistance combined with your percentage resistance to drop the damage by a lot. Now if I equip my full Secret Service armor, and still on the Secret Service armor I made sure that Dense Torso is equipped. This is Dense modification, 50% less damage from explosions. Now my total resistance for ballistic is 319, therefore way greater than the damage from the grenade launcher, and I do have only those two perks, Fireproof and Dodgy, to further reduce my damage. My health is 219. I shoot myself, 216. I'm taking just 3 damage, therefore it is all working. The biggest issue is you don't know the PvP damage for your weapons. It's a hidden value on the weapon card for absolutely no reason. It's not like everyone is doing PvP and it requires this super complicated balancing that's supposed to give it, I don't know what. It's really bad. Like, someone just took a pen and piece of paper and put the values for every single weapon that should be used for PvP. Why? No idea. No idea, really. It doesn't make any sense. I hope this video will help you out now. You know that all the perks works. They all add up together and you can greatly reduce damage from explosions that you are taking. Unfortunately, it is a really hard task to get this damage to 0, as Fireproof is working as intended now and as described on the weapon card. You take 45% less damage from explosions and not 90% less damage from explosions. Therefore, it is working as intended, it is working as described, and all other perks related to explosions are working. The one thing that is mysterious, all explosive weapons that you are using apply PvP damage to yourself and not PvE damage. And that being said, thank you a lot for watching, and as always, see you guys in the next one.